This video is going to be some of the basics in taking a night photo from a tripod. Start with, we would get the settings, we'll get the camera pointing in the direction and focused onto what you want to take a photo of. Sometimes, depending on the camera, this might be a little bit hard. If the subject that you're taking is in quite low light, it can be quite hard. Often it's best to line up a focus point that's in the light. This just means the camera is able to lock on something much easier, but make sure that you get something that makes the whole photo in focus, and you don't have just that subject in focus and then the rest of the picture's all out of focus. So you do that by looking through the viewfinder. I'm not going to do this on there, but if you need to move your focus point, you can use any of these depending on the mode that you set on, and it'll say where on there, and you'll also see it in there. So once you've found a focus point, what you want to then do is make sure it's in self timer, and then it will count down to taking the photo without you having to move the camera at all. And then whilst it's taking the photo, you don't want to touch the tripod at all, because any movement could cause blur or anything. If it's windy or something, often that can have a little effect, so often it's best to shield the camera and the tripod a bit as best you can, but you can't really do a huge amount about that. Then once you've taken the photo, just have a look how it's come out, and it'll take a little bit of time sometimes just for the photo to load up due to it taking longer. And obviously this is just in my bedroom, but depending on how things have come out, you might have some lights that are overexposed, or the subject might be a bit underexposed, so then you can play around with your settings further to decide on, do you need it to be a bit more exposed, is it underexposed, is it overexposed, so you'd set the timer for less time, and to see how your picture turns out onto what you think of your picture, on what, because everyone's eye is different, so depending on what you think, someone else may disagree. So that metering is just a guide of what the camera thinks. It's not always right, so it's best for you to look at the picture and see what you think.